More protesters are tonight languishing in police cells.
I was sentenced to 15 months in prison for blocking the Harbour Bridge for 20 minutes.
The government wants these people locked up.
There's a point at which activism becomes very annoying.
Sorry, we're not here to be liked.
The most equivalent 15-month average sentence is for major government or corporate deception.
What do we want? When do we want it?
In April 2022, the New South Wales government introduced protest laws, making it illegal to protest on major roads and bridges, with offences carrying a maximum penalty of $22,000 and 2 years in jail.
I've probably done 50 to 100 actions in my time, maybe more, and I've been arrested 28 times through those actions. I burnt a pram outside Parliament House.
To save our kids. I want to be a mum, and I can't be a mum because the government is refusing to act on the climate.
I was to go with red spray paint and write duty of care on those pillars.
Climate action now, duty of care. Write it on any surface you can.
Before the Harbour Bridge was blocked or a pram was burnt at the front of Parliament House, there are a long line of environmental civil resistance movements that date back to the Northern Rivers in the 1970s.
Hugh and I arrived at Terania Creek to a derelict farm to take up our career as impoverished new settlers. And within weeks of arriving there, we discovered that the rainforest to the north of us was to be not just logged, but clear fallen. We had a big learning curve straight away. And over the several years of writing submissions, writing press releases, learning how to contact politicians, nothing was working. And this all culminated in a blockade in 1979. And that initiated a very exciting time in Australian history because we realised this was the first time this had been done on an environmental matter.
On behalf of the People's Forestry Commission of New South Wales, you're invited to have the day off. If you choose to stay, you choose to stay.
I do not recognise you as being acting legally.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to stay here with us or would you like to leave?
I am here at work. You people are trespassing.
So the Forestry Commission raid was probably one of the boldest direct actions we've seen, where they took over the entire multi-storey building of the Forestry Commission.
We are prepared to be here for as long as it takes. Crucial thing now is what will the Premier, what will the Minister do?
At that point, we weren't even saying stop native forest logging because it seemed to be too outlandish.
Forestry Corporation would say that they're encouraging good regrowth, but there's good arguments to suggest that these large coops are not necessary. Recent studies have shown that 20 to 30% goes into wood chipping. The Forestry Corporation in 2021 had a loss of $9 million.
The government's been captured completely by these large corporations, as is true all around the world. And that's what's up to us as activists and as a general population to do, is to break that hold over the governments that corporations have. And this is just our survival. If we don't break this hold, then we're all goners.
We've got a camp in the Bulga. It's at the Ellenborough Falls. We have a permanent tree sit in an area of the Bulga forest where the logging was meant to be going next. It's a platform perched high in the arms of a mighty, mighty tree to be a physical impediment to the logging machinery going into that area.
Australians would not be happy to no longer have the Daintree or to have it, logged and turned into a Gold Coast. Australians would not be happy to have had the last wild river in Tasmania flooded or to have lost the, most of the rainforests of New South Wales. History shows us that as communities, social movements often bring issues to the public that are being conveniently pushed aside by vested interests and cause a public outcry that often leads to political change.
State Forest was closed when we had two brave tree sitters out there in the logging area trying to stop the logging. And the Forestry Corporation's response was, okay, we're going to close this forest.
You're in Yarra State Forest. This is.
I'm trying to find out what the story is up there.
Well, I'll give you this caution and then I'll answer your question.
Well, yeah, okay.
The road was closed at the corner of Yarra Road and Main Road, and you entered into
Cars
this
are driving in all the time without authorisation. It's a fucking sham.
You're within 100 metres of harvesting equipment.
I don't think so. You got a tape measure?
Climate action.
The Knitting Nanas are a very strong bunch of women who really care about the issues of today, and they're a hardcore bunch of activists.
So net zero by 2050 is a bloody death sentence, eh? So that's why we're here. It seems insane. I never thought I'd find myself climbing on a train like this and leaving myself so fucking vulnerable. But here I am, and
You fucking insane. Absolutely insane.
I'm here for a reason, mate.
No,
I'm here for a reason. Please,
you know,
I got grandkids, mate. I've got grandkids.
Don't video me.
I'm videoing you.
Do you know how dangerous what you did there is?
Climate grief is something that I think about every single day. Everybody should have climate grief because it's a real thing, it's a real concern, and my only way through climate grief is action.
The forest have spoken. The world won't be broken. Oh, rise up, oh, rise up, oh, rise up, oh, rise up. Away, 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 mama. Away, 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 mama.
Well, you think you need all this shit you don't need for a start, and you buy shit that's causing problems. You know, you don't need all that shit. You don't need it all. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we're just, all the plastic and I could go on for hours, honestly. All the stuff. We don't need to live like this. We can live a better way.
Hardy's a law-abiding citizen.
A law-abiding citizen at most opportunities.
Survival Guide for Humanity, no new coal.
One of the things I will sometimes do with groups of activists or my students in an activism course is tell them to sit down and contemplate failing, contemplate the planet burning up in runaway climate change, contemplate that humans were too slow, too selfish. And it seems very weird that you would get a bunch of activists to do that. Spiritually, my belief is that if you can get to the point of accepting failure and then going back and attending to bringing about a better result than that, a more optimistic result than that, you've actually changed your relationship to the issues. You know, you're not making succeeding in your campaign conditioned precedent to your continued activism. It's important to continue to be able to refresh ourselves, to look the challenges we face in the eye in whatever millennia we live in, and then dedicate ourselves again to a positive outcome. And the thing that can keep an activist going in their life is not whether they win and not whether a utopia is created, but effectively whether they have lived a meaningful life in which they have done their very best to bring about a better world in the generation in which they lived.